Well, here I am at Jin's house in Outer Gyoje. And yeah, just arrived here, really nice. Lots of trails around this area. Very quiet place. I've got my own private room, my first private room since Seoul. I've only stayed in dorms and my tent since then, so yeah, it'd be nice to have some couple of nights of very quiet rest. That's it. No plans for the rest of the day, so have a nap. Well, it was my last night here. This place has been a disaster as far as nice, comfortable rooms go. It's in the middle of nowhere, and there's been a typhoon, so I managed to get out for a walk this morning, but essentially it's just stuck here. And the host offers nothing, absolutely nothing. I saw pictures on Airbnb, and they were like homemade pizzas and like all this stuff, and I thought it'd be nice to kind of have a little homely experience, because you have two extremes of accommodation. You have the hotel, which is like anonymous, you come and go as you please, but it's quite nice because you just like you can come and go as you please, and you can make a mess and it doesn't really matter, it's a hotel. And then you have the homestay, which is like you could stay with a family, and it's a little bit more awkward because you're in someone's home, but you get the kind of homely experience. Well, I fancied a bit of let's make a Korean friend, let's he can show me the area, I do what he does. Nothing, he just disappears. I came out yesterday and tried to start a conversation, just gave some answers and then went off somewhere. And he's just in another little shed or something. And he made me a coffee yesterday morning. Hasn't offered since, hasn't showed me how to make it, hasn't showed me what to do with the kitchen or anything. And so I'm just trapped here. And I went for a walk this morning, as I said. I was like, oh, can I borrow your walking sticks? He didn't want me to because they were too expensive. And then I said, is there anywhere I can dry my clothes? And he said, just use the ceiling fan, which is just ridiculous. So I tried my shoes, my wet shoes, up on the heater there. He comes in my room. Okay, the door was open, but not open. He opens the door, which is a breach of privacy. You're using air conditioning. It's so expensive. And so I feel uncomfortable here, and I get none of the upside of and it's not personal. He's beyond introvert into autistic. I'll say good morning, and he just he doesn't have anything going on. But I mean, to have a guest house, and especially one out here. So I went into town yesterday. Just bought a load of supplies. I've just been eating instant noodles, watching watching the new Game of Thrones, and making myself breakfast cereal. And yeah, so I leave tomorrow. I'll be good. Nothing going on here. He comes in last night. I was like, "Oh, you really like instant noodles, don't you?" Like, you haven't offered me anything, nor shown me where anything is to prepare stuff. So it's like, I don't want to start cooking in your kitchen. You haven't even said that's a possibility. It's just the worst side of this kind of accommodation. But that's part of it, isn't it? The best example was my last accommodation, which had the homely feel. I, met some people there, but you could get access to your own room easily. Come and go as you please. It was a perfect sweet spot. This is got all of the comforts, but none of the warmth. He's a piece of work. He really is. Thank you.
Ah.
Good luck with the storm. Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
Yes. Oh, the feeling is very strong.
Storm is coming.
Yeah. It makes me nervous. Because of that, yesterday I had allergic reactions.
Oh,
It was very severe, but now I'm okay. Good trip.
thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
See ya. Well, he came out of his shell. No, he's a nice guy, but he just sat on his computer all day, watching like Korean talk shows with like sound effects, like whoop, bong, and then massive canned laughter, and he would just be cracking up. Yeah, but it's nice to check out and be free and independent again. I mean, people like have roommates that they don't meet before. They just move into a flat, and it could be for a year. Like I could get a teaching gig in South Korea, and like, flat share, and you just don't know what you're getting yourself in for. I mean, and that guy wasn't bad. I would take that guy as a roommate, just tidy, keeps himself to himself. There are much worse out there, but 3 days is enough. And a storm is coming, as you might have caught, in a couple of days. So I've booked a proper private place just around the corner where I can wait out the storm safely. Just another part of Gyeonggi. Mr. Grumpy. Hmm? The churches in Korea, these really brutalist concrete structures, very minimalist from the outside compared to the Buddhist and Hindu style temples. And I'm just going for a little wander out the back of the big residential complex I'm staying in. I'm not sure. Well, the trip has reached a lull. It's inevitable. I've had 3 weeks adventuring around Korea. It's just run out of momentum, and that's fine. I just found the cheapest place I could that was a single room because I didn't want to deal with anyone else at the moment. And the storm's coming, so 3 nights here, just not thinking about much really, just kind of sticking to myself, and that's it really. Mentally, emotionally, physically, just everything's just drained from me at the moment, and it happens, so just sit through it. It's fine, and I will resume the adventure energized, hopefully. Oh great, yeah, another Korean woodland trail. It's nice for me, but I'm not just gonna show me walking around. That is the thing I like about, I've made my videos quite far in advance. 2 a week is a good upload schedule for me. And that means when these periods come, I don't have to think about making a video or anything. I can just naturally wallow in this little valley, and the good times will come again. Because I have been thinking, it's difficult because I've kind of adventured all the way through Korea, and I have no appetite at the moment for continuing. Simply, there's no. I like being here, but it's expensive, relatively. So it's not somewhere I can just hang out like in Turkey. I could just stay there indefinitely and not spend any money, whereas here it's £30 a day minimum just to eat and drink and sleep. So I need to have some kind of purpose behind what I'm doing, and that's just gone at the moment, but I'm sure given time it will just spontaneously appear. It just happens being on the road for a long time, so I'm not really that concerned about it, to be honest. Another thing that contributes to this current malaise in the Valley of Despair is the fact that I'm at the most southern point I'll get in Korea. I've milked it a little bit by going a little bit further south, but my next move will effectively be turning round and coming and going back, and I don't really, with that just comes a kind of nostalgia about the first weeks of the trip and just having that wide open country, and turning back and coming home doesn't have that same freedom about it. But that's just stuff I have to deal with. And this is my place in this random part of Gyeonggi. Nice and quiet here. It's day 2 here already. I've got my clothes drying out here. It's just so humid that it's just not gonna dry out here. Just come down to this little riverside area. Don't want to get caught in any stormy rains up in the hills. So this is my recreation for the day. Sleepy town. I think people might be preparing for the storm. It's coming, and it's a big one. And it's quite possible I will not leave this place for the next day and a half. Because as I mentioned, the storm is coming, and it's a big one. So I'm currently on day 2 of a 3-day fast. Just water and the occasional black coffee. So energy levels are a bit depleted at the moment. I've fasted for 3 days every month this year, so just trying to carry it on as I travel, and now's a good time to do it with not much else to do, and I just do it for self-discipline. When I'm just got no job or structure around my life, it's nice to have something where I can exert a bit of self-discipline and also self-discovery. It's an interesting thing to encounter, because the body soon gets used to not eating, and it reaches a state of calm. So people think a fast is just being hungry for 3 days, but it can be at first. I guess it's like people who run for the first time get out of breath and stop, and they think that's what running is, but you need to persist sometimes, and then it gets easier. And you realise the transient nature of our impulses, really. Distance runners, I think, encounter this. People who run long distances, they can feel a pain in their foot, and they get to a place where they can run beyond it, and the pain often subsides. And that's what mind control is. If you're committed to running a long distance, the body will often quieten its protests. And so now I'm committed to a 3-day fast. My body is very calm, very relaxed. But if there's a little hint of resistance or something, and I've had this, I think to myself, what's the difference between 2 days and 3 days? I might as well have dinner. Then it becomes the battle of will, and it becomes a struggle. And I guess this is what addicts have to face. I guess that's why once an addict's relapsed and that possibility has been established in the mind, getting sober again becomes infinitely harder. So it's an area I am interested in, and yeah. I've realised also that a goal can sometimes be a barrier. So the last few hours of my fast, it's just torment basically, because, and also a run, however long the run, the first 5k of a 10k run is a lot easier than a 5k run, just because there's that anticipation of relief. So the closer you get to a goal, the harder it becomes. So I thought now's the perfect time to do it, when I'm locked in, storm coming, nothing else to do, because so much of my day revolves around going out to eat. I like to look for a restaurant, then have food, and then maybe a coffee and a dessert after, and that's the flow of my day. Whereas it's nice to, it's good just to kind of detox from everything for a while. And yeah, I still rely on my book, computer, phone. I'm still locked in the cycle of compulsively seeking distraction and entertainment. That shallow comfort of my phone and the internet. But one thing at a time, I guess. And yeah, that's it. And let's just put the shower cradle here, shall we? I'll save a bit of time. Lucky the water pressure here is pretty good. Yeah, these are getting there. Just at the main temple here in this part of Gyeongju. You can see how these freestanding things are being tethered down as the wind starts to rise. Fewer cars on the road. And the storm that's heading over is a large typhoon that's going to be the largest in 60 years. It's already hit the southern island of Jeju. Not too much damage or casualties. It's going to hit about midnight for about 6 hours. So it'll have all blown over by tomorrow. Be interesting to see how the infrastructure holds up. Look how this pagoda light has been tethered everywhere. Should be tied down. It's going to disappear. You can see from my weather app here, typhoon coming in strong and pretty much past by 11 o'clock tomorrow. Wind speed getting up to 30 miles an hour, and yeah, 25 mil of rain in an hour is a lot. I would recommend this app, Weather Radar. It's great for anyone really. I've got friends, grown adults, who still use the BBC weather app for their forecasts. It's absurd, really. I mean, this is what the BBC says about the typhoon, biggest in 60 years. Thundery showers and a fresh breeze. And I mean, these percentages are completely arbitrary compared to the actual millimetre rainfall. So yeah, get yourself on this Weather Radar app if you have any weather related needs. That's it. Typhoon has gone. Didn't sleep very well, but I don't think it was that strong, to be honest. But let's go outside and purvey the destruction. Well, it did make an impact, didn't it? And I did feel the building shaking at its peak. Oh, these cones are not freestanding. I was looking forward to seeing the chaos of these cones everywhere. Aha! I warned them. I warned them. But for a once in a lifetime super typhoon, I was expecting a little bit more chaos and destruction. Oh. Oh, leaves on the ground. Rubbish. You do not see that every day. Seat cushion in the middle of the pavement. Mental. The big finale. Boo. Well, here we are. It's about 6 hours till I can break my fast. I'm feeling good. I did have a real dip last night when the storm was coming. Energy was just felt pretty horrible. And I've got chocolate flakes and milk in the flat, so I was really tempted, but luckily I managed to just hold the line, and yeah, should be fine from now on in. I have learnt that while fasting, get these like cycles of energy, and when I'm down I just think, well, this is it, you know, I can't really carry on like this, but then spontaneously it will rise again, and it's a good lesson in life, really. And I've learnt that when I'm feeling low and down like I have been recently, where normally I might seek an intervention, like do something exciting or go out for a nice meal, or, you know, there's often nothing to be done about it. Just wait, just sit it out, and it will always rise again. That's just the cycle of life, the seasons, that's how they work. I think often we look for external interventions when we're feeling down. Like, you might tell someone that you're feeling upset about something, and the natural response is to look for an intervention, like, oh, have you thought of this? Like, what about if you did that? Like, what combination of words can I say to make you feel better? You know, it's that intervention on stuff, but often just breathe and sit through it, and there's nothing to be done, and that's very liberating. Having the faith that things will always get better. I do feel reticent about talking about things like that, just because my life circumstance is just so privileged. My lows just aren't that low. I'm like doing what I want to do, but still, it's I think it can apply to more serious things, but again, I've never really been through anything extremely traumatic, so I'm sure that will be much more gripping to go through. You can't necessarily keep that space from your emotions, but it's interesting to think about, at least. Now, I would contribute and help these people picking up all these branches, but I actually don't have the energy to keep on bending down and lugging branches around, so I'm just going to go back. Don't know where those go. Well, life is back to normal after the typhoon. And dinner in a couple of hours, just when I break my fast, so best to keep busy in the closing stages. So I'm just done some video editing. Got quite a few videos backed up now, which is nice. And just going to pack my bag because I head off tomorrow. So I bought this backpack before I went car camping, and it's very handy because it can just fold in on itself, zip up into a little bag, and when I don't need it as a day bag, I can just store it in my main backpack, and that means I can, if I'm travelling or going on a hike or something with this, I don't need to have another bag hanging around, so it's proved very useful already this trip. So I bought these battery powered clippers for my hair while I'm away. I don't think they have a guard like my ones at home, so this will probably be the shortest my hair has ever been. But yeah, this will add some symbolism to my psychological rebirth after my walk in the valley of existential despair and my fasting and just the downing of the trip. Now I can enter the world anew. Well, I do feel a sense of pride and achievement having overcome the challenge I set myself. Weathering the storm, as it were, and I did have a few wobbles on the way, but it is a journey doing a fast. You will have to slay the dragon occasionally and use some willpower. But yeah, this dinner will taste all the sweeter for it. And yeah, I guess that storm has completely blown all the other weather away because it's just a lovely evening now. So this is Yukgae-jang, which is a Korean beef soup. Normally it's served spicy, but this restaurant does it without the spice. And yeah, I haven't had it before, so. Various pickles, rice, and thick soup with slow braised beef. Delicious. Well, it was nice to be back in a restaurant, if nothing else, but no one's wearing these in there. It's nice to see real human faces, real expressions. I do think it's a shame, just visually, people walking around with this on, and a shame on a species level. Millions of years of evolution, vaccines, and we still need this intervention on public health. It's pretty retarded, but it's my truth. I'm sorry. No Snickers in the 7-Eleven down here, so gone for Hershey's. What you got, Americans? I hear this is pretty average compared to British confectionery. It is average. It's the kind of chocolate you get in like a department store advent calendar. They don't do their own chocolate, so they just use the most generic stuff. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining me. This little recess in Gyeongju. Moving on tomorrow, so I'll see you on the road.